We're going to see how that goes. But while we're on the topic of Zack Snyder, it's about time we talk about this man's catalog, this man's resume, this man's rap sheet, because I think that's the best way to describe it. Let's get into this man's crimes. And again, I'll say this, I want to reiterate, I don't hate Zack Snyder. I just he's had some stuff that I've enjoyed. Like Man of Steel, I remember where I was in 2013. Like my stepdad was working at Walmart, and for whatever reason, they gave all Walmart employees like early screening tickets. So I got to go see this movie like early before anybody else and got a poster at the same time when I was back home. So I loved that movie when it came out in 2013. And I don't even like Superman like that, but I love that movie. So I enjoyed Zack Snyder's Superman. I think he's done some stuff that's been okay. I thought Dead of the Dead was solid, I guess. But for the most part, he has this issue where he is trying to be almost like Michael Bay. Like they try to be overly serious and try to make everything overly cinematic, where they make these like wallpaper shots with this glare and sweat everywhere. Yeah. And it ends up like it's funny enough. I just got done watching the Vince McMahon doc. It feels like he feels like the Vince McMahon of movies, where he's like making products that are appealing to like young to middle-aged, maybe some older men.
Yeah, just it's
like, hey, here's attractive, sweaty women that may do some violent stuff for their sex, and here's these big, sweaty men with muscles that fight and do these things. That's what it feels like a lot of times for me.
Yeah.
But that being the case, how do you guys feel about his catalog overall? And we're going to go down his list of movies from start to finish here in a second, but I want to get your thoughts overall on what his catalog is like for you. And we can start with Lelouch.
So I've got mixed feelings about it. Like there are certain titles that, I mean, like Dawn of the Dead is still one of my favorite zombie movies to this day. I mean, The Watchmen is still one of my favorite superhero movies to this day. But then you got, the DCEU, right? And then Sucker Punch with people will try to over-explain that movie into being good. And it's like, nah, dog, like that's not what happened on screen. Like I get what you're trying to say that it happened. It was like, no, from point A to point B, he did not explain us getting to G, okay? That did not happen. Yeah, it looked great. I mean, visually, still one of the best looking movies I've ever seen, even for the day that it came out. But like, yeah.
Matter of fact, I hate to cut you off, but real quick. Matter of fact, we went to a party. All of us went to a party, an after party. The Comic-Con, was it last year or year before, whatever? And they literally had that movie on in the background, Sucker Punch, on the big screen in the background. And it looked bad. It looks amazing. To see having the visuals playing in the background while music and everything else is going on while you're drinking and knacking on some chick, that's great. It's fantastic for that purpose.
Yeah, it is fantastic on mute.
On mute, yeah, on mute. Great. It is great on mute. It's amazing on mute. I agree.
In all fairness, he only did like 2 movies in he did 3 DCEU movies. He did Man of Steel, Justice League, and Batman v Superman. Which, I mean, look, Man of Steel was solid. Man of Steel was solid.
But people have we do like it.
Batman v Superman. I think that's the one that really killed. That's the one. If you can take that movie out, I don't think he did as bad.
Yeah. Man of Steel is my personal favorite Superman movie to date when it comes to live action. Like I can't think of a single one that is better personally. So again, giving him his credit there.
And we're talking live action, by the way, to specify that, because I think animation-wise, there's other ones that are better.
Of course. Yeah, he's all the animation. Yeah. But no, I agree. I mean, here's another thing, too, about Zack Snyder. I don't dislike him as a person at all. He's actually seems like a pretty decent guy.
Oh, yeah.
He seems a little confused about how Batman's supposed to behave. The interviews of him describing how Batman kills. It's like,
they want to get over it. Be a booty warrior.
Yeah, that's that nonsense.
Get this Buddha hole touch.
but like you said though, Dev, he is very self-indulgent, and that's fine. He's an artist. We all are in some capacity. But his 4-hour Zack Snyder cut or Snyder cut for Justice League, all the slow motion. This guy is infamous, notorious for the slow motion. But it's wildly unnecessary. It's like, why are we doing so much slow motion, Zach? In limited capacity, it can be great. When I first saw that trailer for Watchmen,
slow motion for me.
I call that there. But when I first saw that trailer for in 2008, I think all of us were there. We all maybe Charlie made me too little, I guess. But we went to the theaters to watch The Dark Knight. And at The Dark Knight, they had the first time I saw the trailer.
How old do you think I am?
I know how old you are. You were born in 2000. Did you see The Dark Knight?
Yes, I went to see The Dark Knight at 8 years old. Yes, I saw the Dark Knight.
In theaters. Okay, because I thought that would be a bit much for. I thought that may be a bit much for 8-year-old, but fair enough.
I was allowed to go to the movies at 8 years old.
For that kind of was PG-13 as well. I wasn't sure. I don't know. I'm glad your parents.
My granddad had me watching the Boondocks at like 7 now, so that's my grandfather.
Fair enough. But I remember seeing that back in the day. It was the actual midnight screening for The Dark Knight. And it was the first time we actually saw the trailer for The Watchmen. And it blew everyone away. It blew everyone away, not just at my theater, it blew everyone away so much across the country that the sales of the graphic novel Watchmen flew like went crazy. People who hadn't even heard that comic book or graphic novel went out and bought it. I bought it too. And so it was, the trailer was so well done. The slow motion in the trailer was so well done. It all worked amazing. And of course, 300, we all know 300. The slow motion in that movie, put him on the map. I got you. Fair. You are what you are as Snyder. But he's kind of lost himself in using that same trick. It's the same way that Shyamalan kind of lost himself in using a twist over and over again. It can get a little repetitive. Same way as Michael Bay losing himself in the whole undershot explosions. It's like you gotta find. I understand you have your signatures. That's fine, but don't lose yourself within them. So,
yeah, I will say this to give him grace. There are other directors, especially ones that we like that are highly acclaimed, like a Scorsese or a Tarantino, where they have their signature things they do in film, whether that be like a way something is shot, a way certain violence is portrayed, the way certain words are used for certain people. And for the most part, those work for them. But I think, to your point, I think the weakness that Snyder has in a lot of stuff is that he's overly reliant on his signature stuff. Like he goes into a movie and he's like, okay, I know I'm gonna have my slow motion scenes. I know I'm gonna get them in, but he doesn't look to where he can add in other places, at least for things that he's writing. Directing as well, because some of those shots are kind of Because Michael Bay, he's gonna have his sweaty shots, his like super wallpaper screeny movies or whatever it may be, and it works for that fan base. And I think we've talked about this, and we talked about this a long time ago on here, in one of the Watchtower. I think it was just me and Otis actually in a Watchtower session we did like years ago, where we talked about making it was with you. I had a conversation with you, Ethan, where we discussed making content for your fans and people that are watching your stuff versus making content for the masses. I think at this point, Zack Snyder is making movies for people that are fan of Zack Snyder movies. Yeah.
Which is fair.
And it just happens to be that the people he makes movies for are a demographic that will never disappear. Because you're always going to have highly filled testosterone men that are like 17 to 30 that like to see attractive women and violence. Like that will always be there.
Yes,
that will always be there.
I mean, let's be honest. The Snyder Cut. How long was it? At least a year, if not more, that people were chanting for the Snyder Cut. Even the Snyder Cut. I want the Snyder Cut of Justice League before the movie came out. And again, there was no Snyder Cut. It wasn't like it existed, but they hadn't released it. No, they had to make it after it was sought after by in demand so much for so long. Like you said, it was primarily by 17 to 30-year-old sweaty testosterone males. So,
bro, people loved him so much that when Gunn got announced to be taking it over, like people were making like art of Superman holding Gunn's decapitated head. Like they were like he was getting death threats and shit. Like they wanted Snyder back in control of the DCEU in the worst way. People did not like that change.
That's terrible.
Granted, I will give him this with the Justice League stuff. His daughter dying during the filming, I will give him a lot of credit. That's why I don't harp on Justice League as much, because I know for a factor of his mind probably wasn't in the right place when he was making that film when that happened, nor did he probably even want to finish that. Like I'd understand if he just wanted to walk away to focus on grieving his daughter's death at that moment in time. So I never get on that. Batman v Superman though, no, nigga, you don't get a pass for that. You don't get a pass for that.
Yeah.
You don't get a pass for that.
And Joss Whedon took over for Justice League specifically. James Gunn is taking over the DC.
Yeah, he's heading up. He's the new Feige for DC.
Yeah.
And when that announcement got made, It was bad.
There's just a lot of orange in Justice League, bro. Just everything was like the entire movie was dyed orange. It's like, why?
This is the thing.
It's stuff like that when people don't always notice, like through metrics or like the editing in movies. When it's done really bad, bro, it stands out a lot. When color grading isn't done right in the movie, it stands out a lot when it's bad.
And that was part of the problem. I mean, we had to, I don't try to dig it on Zack in that regard, but like for Justice League in particular, or his cut of Justice League in particular, so many things looked like a video game. It looked unnatural, what Otis is saying. So the orange didn't look natural. In 300, for the most part, it was all yellow. All of it was yellow, oversaturated, but it kind of fit for the tone of that movie. It kind of seemed it worked. The video game greens and oranges and everything, all the colors in this, it just seemed out of place in a lot of ways in Justice League Snyder Cut.
Now I do, to stop us from just ragging on him, I do want to talk about some of the things that I enjoy about the things that he's done. Because again, like I said before, me seeing Man of Steel at 13, that was like the only Superman story besides the Red Sun that I really enjoyed. And I enjoyed that because him making things gritty and similar to Nolan in the sense to where he makes things more grounded in regards to how a hero that's like a god would be portrayed or how that power would look. I thought he was the perfect person for that type of movie because when you have a fight scene where he's fighting Zod in the city, it's not going to be pretty like in the cartoons. Like, yeah, I'm going to be destroying skyscrapers and killing people in the wreckage of this fight. I thought it was portrayed in an amazing way. I thought that final fight was dope where I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to make Zod tap out when he has it in his mind that he's going to kill people. I have to kill him. And I love the way that he portrayed Superman in that, where people saw him as a god. Because in reality, if this man is flying and shooting lasers out of his eyes, there would be a lot of people that would see him as a god and not a human being. Hell, we already treat celebrities like gods half the time here. So if somebody with actual godlike abilities came to Earth, we do that. And even with stuff like 300, like him having Spartans was perfect because as far as like the fight choreography there and how they're portrayed, if you give him the right ingredients, I think he can cook up something good. And I think we saw that with Twilight of the Gods where it was solid. I think him having Norse mythology and having Viking characters work for him and the things that he does well.
I think also having a writer, a better writer or writing team, because again, going back to Twilight of the Gods, the characters worked. Loki was amazing. The team was great. Thor being what he was, it was all worked really, really well. If you think about a lot of the Snyder movies that have come out more recently, the characters are caricatures. They don't feel real in of themselves. They feel off. Man of Steel worked for me because I actually believed Clark Kent's plight. It's like, it would suck to feel have no idea where you are, who you are, what you're doing. That was a great time when Snyder actually had some character development and it made sense. A lot of other times it's not really there. So if you give him a good script, if you give him an actual script and have him shoot it, yeah, I'm sure he can make some magic happen.
And I want to really dial into what he did with The Watchmen because, I mean, his portrayal of that, taking that dark, parallel to reality adjacent world and showcasing that, like, creating some like scenes that are still meme to this day, like, I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. Like,
and the extended cut's better. Yeah, the real cut is better.
Showing the complexity of a character like Dr. Manhattan, showing of an even more complex character, in my personal opinion, with as Ozymandias. I mean, showing how these people that are God adjacent would react to real social issues that we deal with. I thought that he portrayed that beautifully. I think that, it was so good that it almost to a degree kind of changed the landscape of superhero films because it went from stuff being kind of like more cartoony to being, a lot more grounded within superhero stories. I don't think he did that exclusively. I think Blade also helped with that plight as well. But like, it really went from like, the Tim Burton, type superhero movies to these grittier stories that we're seeing more consistently today. And I credit him for making that change. Well, being a part of that change as well.
Yeah, when did Batman Begins come out? Wasn't that 08 too?
No, because Batman Begins was 2005. Because again, it was 2008 when they had the trailer for Watchmen. Watchmen came out in 2009. Because also 2008 was a big year. 2008 had pretty much the same. Yeah, it had Wanted came up first, then Dark Knight, then Iron Man. All three of those came out the same summer of 2008. I know this because I went to a comic convention and pretty much somebody from that was involved with all these movies was there at the convention promoting all these things. Because I remember in 2008, comic book movies were not what they are now. They were not well praised. They were not like big things. They're pretty much saying, "Hey, please go see these movies. Please go see them. I promise they're good." So it was actually interesting that actually all went pretty well. But yeah,
and that's interesting how like all those gritty movies came out like that same year. Like they're all grounded, gritty superhero movies or comic movies.
They're different. Yeah, I mean, Wanted has a lot of actual bloodshed. Iron Man is meant to be more rated take too. Iron Man himself is killing people, and obviously Watchmen is this is like a rated R cut for those things too. So it's it makes perfect sense.
I wonder what was going on. I wonder what was in that water in Hollywood at that point in time. So they greenlit all those movies like that.
Too bored,
especially when it wasn't the norm at that point.
Too bored with the lighter stuff. Like no, Spider-Man 3 did not sell how it was supposed to. You got to switch up the formula.
No, it did not.
Which, funny enough, we talk about lighter stuff. One thing that he did do that I thought was really dope was the Legends of the Guardians.
The
movie that he did.
Yeah.
Gahul, yeah. Guardians of Gahul.
Legends of the Guardians, the Owls of Gahul. Yeah,
I'm
like. Yeah. That felt like the most random. Like, if you told me Snyder made that, I would not believe you.
It's actually pretty good. Have you it's very. That's also very pretty too.
Yeah.
It's like wow, this is not for kids. This is not for kids.
This is a kids movie. You sure?
This is not for kids. This no. It's like Watership Down with flying animals.
They made
it was because the same studio did Happy Feet, so I was like, yeah, I loved Happy Feet. Yeah, I'm gonna get some owls. Happy Feet owls? Yeah, hell yeah.
I wonder if kids went to the theater expecting to see happy dancing owls. I can't. Oh, I feel so bad for those parents. So bad for those parents.
I was like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, we can really quickly before we ready to close out. I want to kind of go through his catalog. I'm just going to read off the names of the films and shows that he's been a part of, and I just want a yay or a nay on if y'all rocky with it or not. Just to kind of go through an overall thing. I'm not going to go through the music videos, which, side note, I think the slow motion makes a lot of sense that he did a lot of music videos that started his career off. It makes a lot more sense now. That makes a lot more sense.
I mean, they are well shot. I'm not knocking that.
Yeah. The first one that I see on here, this is a Spanish film that I don't know if y'all saw. Morrissey. Oye Esteban. I don't know if y'all saw.
Oh, is it based off the singer? Probably is, right? I haven't seen it.
Came out in 2000 though, so I wasn't even. I don't think I was alive when it came out. Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, definitely thumbs up.
Yeah,
definitely thumbs up.
Still one of the best. To this day.
Yeah, The Lost Tape. Andy's Terrifying Last Days Revealed.
I haven't seen that one either.
I didn't see that one either. 300.
Yeah, it's decent. It hasn't aged well at all, really. But when it first came out, I was like, "Oh, okay, it's kind of interesting," and it gave us Gerard Butler.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, great. Seeing it in theaters was a great experience. Watching it more recently, does it hold up? Not really.
No,
but still, artistically and visually, high level. So I give it credit there.
Right. It also gave
us a really good TV or like a movie or like a theater system. Really
another great movie in mute. Like mute that play. You got the perfect background vibe for a dinner party.
Yeah. Although one thing I do have to say, the music, the actual score soundtrack for that one, it was kind of like the trailer for that movie was really over the top with machismo, and I've heard so many animated music videos that use that score, which we love too. So yeah.
My Chemical Romance, Desolation Row. Oh, that's a music video. I'm tripping.
Yeah, I know My Chemical Romance. I don't know
My Chemical Romance has a movie?
Chemical Romance?
Yeah, I know that's a movie
video. Yeah. Watchmen.
The extended cut, yeah. The theatrical cut's not as good.
Yeah, theatrical cut is tough, but the extended cut, I fully agree.
Yeah.
A movie that I low-key want to go back and watch this again because I haven't watched it in years and I forgot all about it. Legends of the Guardians, The Owls of Gahul.
Yeah,
it's really good.
All right, I'm up for that.
Yeah, I want to go back and watch that again.
That's really good.
Sucker Punch.
It is bizarre because it is so bizarre. The more you think about it, it's like, wow, what is this going on here? It's the idea of going within your mind, It's like, what?
It's
and
like
why are they? What?
She was dancing in front of a bunch of guards, and now they're on a train fighting mechs.
Yes. None of it makes sense. It was Gina Carano. Was Gina not Gina Carano? That's the boxer. But what was her name? The woman that's like the dancing instructor that's trying to tell them how to be sexy. She was also in It's just I'm sorry. I'm trying to like keep my brain straight on these things, but there's so much nonsense at once. Never mind. Forget I said anything. It's just I said anything.
So brighten the mood up a little bit. Man of Steel.
Yeah, I'm up. Still the best Superman movie today.
Oh yeah.
There's a short that he did, the Superman 75th anniversary. I didn't watch that short though.
Yes. Oh yeah, Carla Gugino. That my God, Jesus Christ, Carla Gugino was the one I knew anything about. Yes. And Superman short, the 101. I didn't know he had anything to do with that. That was actually pretty good. I actually enjoyed that.
Yeah, he directed that one apparently.
Okay. Yeah.
Batman v Superman. Donald Justice.
Pass.
Why you got the Riddlers and pay Lex Luthor?
That is.
Oh God.
That is.
Him as a Riddler would have been annoying too.
It would have made more sense.
I would have hated it. He would have been annoying as shit.
But he was supposed to be a Riddler, right? That was the whole idea. It was supposed to be him originally, and then Cranston was supposed to be okay.
Snow Steam Iron. I did not watch. That's a short. Never mind. It's a short. I don't know if I saw that short.
Have you said it's short?
It's my first time hearing of it.
All right. It's Justice League.
Pass. How hard pass?
Yeah. Hanukkah, A Magical Time of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
This is a video, so I don't know. It's just a music video. I think it's a music video, probably.
I hope it's good.
He got credited with Zack Snyder's Justice League and Justice League, which was crazy. Army of the Dead.
No. Try watching that movie. I dare you. I dare you. Try.
I wanted.
I don't like zombies like that. Honestly,
I wanted that to be good so bad, but
it's not good though. It's like a parody of itself. The thing is, it starts off as one like pretty hardcore movie. Like, oh, this is gonna be gritty and tough, and then it becomes a weird like what?
Yeah,
it's
almost slapsticky by the end.
Basically, it is basically slapstick by the end.
Okay, zombies don't really do it for me. So I was just I'll let people have that one. This was a surprise to me. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. He was a co-director for that, apparently.
I guess for a couple episodes or so.
For one episode, dripping. Yeah.
Okay. That one episode he did was great. It was fantastic.
And then we have Rebel Moon Part 1 and 2, A Child of Fire and the Scargazer.
As you said that, I could see your face twitching.
I haven't seen the Scargazer yet though, so I don't know how good that is at all. I know we all watched the Child of Fire. We all like did that whole thing to watch that
video of that. How far did you get Otis in the second one?
About 20 minutes, and I was just
really
like,
damn, was that bad?
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. You got 20 minutes.
I was really like, I'm gonna sit through this whole thing and review it and talk to people about it, and I was just like, nah, bro. Like, I sat through more Guillermo del Toro than this. Still not forgiving Cabinet of Curiosity. Still not forgiving that.
That was.
Hey, he gave me Hellboy, so I ain't tripping on that.
Although Cabinet of Curiosity was at least funny.
So funny. Not a general shot at Guillermo del Toro, but Cabinet of Curiosity specifically that.
Yeah. But I think that was similar where he presented. I don't think he directed all those. I'm not sure he directed any of those necessarily. Because Pan's Labyrinth also
was just attached.
Yeah, Pan's Labyrinth is great. He did Guillermo del Toro did Pan's Labyrinth. But yeah.
But yeah. Well, hell, I remember with Rebel Moon, like it looked good because I was around the time I had like just got my new job and I went and bought I wanted to see my new TV. He's seen how good that TV is now. That's probably one of my favorite purchases I've ever bought. It's expensive as like 75-inch TV. It had like Dolby Vision and 4K UHD. So I love watching like when I go to like HBO Max or Netflix when they have it in Dolby Vision, my TV automatically goes there. The movie looks amazing on the TV. I didn't know what the fuck happened in that movie. Aesthetically, it looked amazing on that TV. The color grading, everything looked amazing. I couldn't tell you anything about that plot.
That's the problem. That dude, he can shoot things so well. I'm sure y'all been there before. Where it's an amazing. Like, say, for example, if something looks like it's going to taste fantastic. This meal is presented in such an amazing way, and you sit down, you put your fork in it, and that first bite is just like, what? It's almost that much worse because it does look so good, but the content itself is just abysmal. Like Rebel Moon, I saw the trip in LA. Our producer can tell you about how they had so many different posters and different billboards and everything for Rebel Moon. So all these ads, they had them there in Atlanta and stuff too. We were in LA
when we saw ads before, remember?
Oh, you saw that's right. Yeah, when you were here with me. Yeah. But the ads looked great. The character designs looked great. They still look great. So I was like, oh no, man, this might be all right. It's on Netflix. Like I can watch it for free. This might be all right. This might be all right. 8 Might Words with a big old heaping a crow. It was, man, I can't believe how bad that movie was.
A hot take. Well, I don't think it's a hot take, but because I think it's more of a lukewarm take. There aren't that many directors who can also be great at writing. I think it's very difficult for you to be a director and understand how things need to be looked and how they need to be shot and have that vision, and also understand writing a film and not just like the story itself, but like actual script writing is also like as somebody that's been like practicing that and trying to get better at it, do my reps in for that with my own stuff. That shit's hard, bro. That shit's not easy. Yeah. So doing that and also being good at making things look great aesthetically, I'm like, there's a handful of directors, obviously, like I think somebody like a Tarantino, Scorsese, something else at the top of my head. More recently, like a Jordan Peele and oh my God, I'm blanking on buddy's name, Black Panther, Coogler. Like, there's not too many people that can do that. And even then, like sometimes depending on the film, they may be weaker in certain spots because you're double timing it to make things make sense to you.
I think dudes like. They themselves usually don't write all things, the whole entire script themselves. Like even with you mentioned Scorsese, right? Rebels of the Moon. Not the Moon. The last one he did. Killers of the Flower Moon. I think about Moon and Snyder, but the Killers of the Flower Moon that he did, that wasn't directly a script that he wrote himself. It was adapted from something else. Tarantino, yes, very much he writes his own stuff. But Nolan, for example, usually it's his brother or somebody else that writes the actual script, and he kind of works.
Did I say Nolan?
Way. No, you didn't say Nolan.
Okay. I was about to say,
no,
damn,
you didn't bring Nolan. But so it's very rare that a person does all the above by themselves. Usually they're working with a script that someone else handled and kind of do it.
The only people I see do that well more often is probably horror directors, just for the fact that you're usually on a smaller budget and they have to do it. Because they don't really have the money to pay somebody else to help them write the stuff. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, I don't see too many people that can do that. It's really tough to do. But
sure,
it's just a little take I thought I had. I think it's more of a lukewarm take. I think most people understand that kind of have an idea of how movies work. But
yeah,
c'est la vie.
Right. Overall, though, as much as people want to love Snyder or hate Snyder, overall he's pretty somewhere in the middle. Like he's got some stuff that's really good. Yeah. He's got some stuff that's Rebel Moon. I mean,
yeah. What's funny about Rebel Moon is how it's pretty much unanimously agreed, even by his hardcore fans. Like, yeah, this is bad. Like no one's like defending it. Like, there are still to this day people that defend, that love Batman v Superman, both cuts of that movie. It is what it is. No one's out there defending Rebel Moon. No one's defending those two films.
Yeah, because niggas will defend Batfleck till the end of time. I don't get it. I'll let them have that, but
same with Bale for some reason.
Yeah, agreed. Oh, well, that's because they had the Dark Knight. Yeah, he gets credit for the Dark Knight for whatever reason, but I digress. Let's go ahead and rank Twilight of Guys. I don't think we ranked that before we get up out of here. Let's rank that movie.
I'll do it good.
What are y'all giving out of 10?
Out of 10, I'll probably give it like a 7.5.
Yeah, I give it a solid, either a 7 or 7.5. It was just some of the logic gaps that bothered me. They probably bothered me more than they should have because it was such a well presented. Everything else is so much better overall. So it kind of bothered me. Some of those things.
The ending really, really bothered me because, like, again, if old girl did not go to Valhalla after touching, this steel that's supposed to be Godslayer steel, and Sigrid ends up there, whether she's dead or not, how can she get in there after, touching that steel? Like, you made the distinction.
Yeah, that bothered me.
How did that happen?
Because I was amazed. It wasn't a throwaway idea either. It was presented it was set up very, very well at the beginning with that dwarf saying, "Hey, you are damning yourself," and she's like, "Yeah, I am." It's part of her whole revenge. So it only makes that much more sense for her to be truly damned. And like, I damn myself. I know they did this to try to help Thor. So it's kind of you pretty much set the whole you negated your whole entire quest in a way with that. So
it's gonna be some bullshit like which I'm just gonna throw this out here now. If I'm right, we'll see. But my guess is that they're gonna make her mother. They never verified who her mother was. They're gonna make her mother like a Vayni or like an Aesir god, or she's like half Jotnar, half god, like Loki's kids for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't have a reasoning to think that, but that's my best guess. They're gonna pull something out their ass like that, where she's like half deity, and that's why she's been so successful in everything thus far. And she's automatically goes to Valhalla for whatever reason.
It's
or
possible.
Odin put her there.
Oh yeah, it's possible. I mean, one other thing too was I didn't know that. I mean, you probably know it's better than I do, Charlie. Is it possible for Freya to grab somebody by the shoulders and just transport them to Valhalla?
It's possible because I mean Valhalla is just a realm that I know Odin has access to, and I believe Freya should too, as his wife, and also she is. Keep in mind that I'm trying to remember if she was. I know in God of War they made her like the Queen of Valkyries essentially, where she was like the Valkyrie Queen. I can't remember in actual mythology if that was a thing or not, if she was a part of organizing the Valkyries or not. But if that's the case, that
makes more sense. I mean,
that would surprise me.
She teleported
because again, we saw that the Valkyries had like at least that one in particular. The first episode had an infatuation with her, where she was like rubbing her thumb all on her mouth, all sexual like and shit for whatever reason.
So we'll see. I mean, it's possible. I mean, again, the Valkyries themselves are jaded. If the gods are jaded, they can be jaded too. They can have their own personality, have their own take on things. But I don't know why it felt bad. I know her name, the blonde. I felt so bad. The whole
I felt bad for her. That hurt my heart.
That hurt my heart bad. I was like, man, the whole thing. She went on this massive quest, kind of knowing she was damning herself, but all she wanted was to see her sons, to see her three beautiful boys one last time. And they're like, nah, we gotta
see. That was
it gets darker when you
until you undo it a few minutes later by not having the same thing happen to Sigurd.
And that soured it.
I missed the moment there was her actually having to kill her sons. Because remember, like Odin called in all the warriors of Valhalla to come fight in that battle. So if she would have had to kill her sons, that's a missed moment they had there.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, that thing too, as far as I'm calling in the cavalry, all the past warriors, we don't really see them. We see them say, we'll send them back to Valhalla. Okay. We don't actually see them fight any of those guys again. It's kind of this weird, like, cavalry that doesn't do much, doesn't have much of an effect in the battle. But whatever.
Well, yeah. We're going to see how that goes. But yeah. Hold on. Wikipedia says scholars have connected her to Valkyries. Okay, so yeah, she's been connected to Valkyries.
So Frey has command over that too, so she can do that herself. Yeah.
Which they didn't mention that in the show yet at all.
They did not. They definitively did not. They went out of the way not to mention that. Yeah.
But say la vie. You have any other thoughts though before we get about her?
What's your rating of the series? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'll probably give it a 7.5. Because once I started it, I couldn't stop watching it. I was binging it because I was bored. Well, I can't even say because I was bored. I think it was that good where I just had to binge it. I thought it was solid.
It was definitely enjoyable. I mean, it was, again, I think it was better. One of the best Snyder things that have come out, and he presented it, whatever. One of the best Snyder connected things that have come out in quite a while. I would say on all of Netflix by far.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, it's up there for me. I think it has the issue that most of those shows have. Like after you watch it and you think about it, all the holes start to present themselves to you. But like upon the first watch, you're like, oh, that was fun. I had fun watching that. I had fun with this.
Yeah,
I'm definitely glad I never watched this around like my family or like a date because that would have. Yeah,
they've got. I really hope they have enough TVMA like banners all over there because if a kid says I'm gonna watch this with my mom, it is not a kid. Please, kids, do not watch this.
5 minutes in.
5 minutes in. It is.
Who put the poom poom on the screen?
Woo! And also the violence is violent too. It is not. It is.
I was here for that though. I knew like once I saw Snyder, I knew.
Can we talk about Thor showing up at the giant village and like going ham? Because we didn't get to that.
That's where I was like, well, because in all mythology, like he has this hate boner with the Jotnar. Like the Aesir do not like the Jotnar at all. Like I think Loki is the only one of the Aesir that fuck with them literally and figuratively.
Right.
But like they be like, yeah, them giants, fuck them giants. I saw that coming when they were like, we fear no gods. I'm like, okay.
Nuked on. Just like
But it was even more interesting because we do the series opens with the battle scene. It's like, okay, it's a cool action. They're like, yeah, by the way, that's the PG version of the action. The real action happens at the end where you see him literally obliterate a house full of women and small children It's like, good Lord.
Bro, when he blew up the old lady, I was like, hey, yo, oh my God.
Like
why you do Granny like that?
I was
So, like,
okay.
This man was making lightning clones, like the tricks that he did
Shadow Step.
with this
Shadow
lightning and hammer are some of the best animations
seen
I've seen for a lightning user or for Thor, period. So kudos for that.
It's probably the most accurate as well. It's the most accurate Thor that I've like.
Yeah.
Like in Norse mythology, whenever the Aesir are like, yeah, we about to fuck you up. Hey, Thor, come handle our light work real quick.
Yeah.
Like he is always to what they call to handle
He's
shit.
a super duper thug. It reminded me of, I mean, let's be, I know we got to go. We've been here for a long, long time, but real quick, Netflix had some bangers pretty recently in the animation department. Obviously, we got Blue Eye Samurai, which got the Emmy Award winning Blue Eye Samurai, Cyberpunk 2077, the Castlevania series. They got this.
They got a little catalog.
Terminator Zero. They got Tomb Raider coming out like next week or something. They're on one. Which one?
Oh, they're doing a Devil May Cry? I forgot about
Devil May Cry
that.
is also Netflix. Devil May Cry is also Netflix. They're on one. They're actually on one. I'm good for them. Good for you, Netflix. And also,
they have really good talent scouts there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Death Row. Whoever is in charge of evaluating like the things that they bring onto their platform or they purchase to put their name on, give them a raise because they've been doing great with picking up these series or funding these series and movies to bring on lately. Yeah. Movie like live action movies, not so much as of late.
They have some hits in there, but it's obviously you never know.
Nah, but their animation team,
bruh.
Yeah, and their original stuff. I mean, sometimes, like this wasn't an established IP. It was something they did. They took a chance and it made it work. Blue Eye Samurai wasn't an established IP.
Blood of Zeus.
They took a chance and it made it work. Mm-hmm.
I didn't like that. That's just me.
I thought that was pretty solid. Blood of Zeus.
Blood of Zeus. That was.
That was okay. It was okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
All in all, okay.